Okay, 7 o'clock, so we might as well get this meeting rolling. If you could call this meeting to order.
Mr. Day?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Edwards? Ms. Cavazos?
Here.
Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. If there's anybody out there who wants to speak during citizens' time about any comments outside of business tonight. Looks pretty empty, so I'm assuming there's none. So we'll move on to a minute approval. We got last month's meeting minutes.
Yes, sir. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the regular scheduled meeting, May 17, 2017, ARB minutes.
You got a motion
I second the motion.
and a second. Any corrections that anybody sees? Looked good to me. Okay, we'll put it up for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, or anybody abstained? Okay. Well, then we'll go to old business. We do have a COA that was tabled.
Chairman, I know it's not on the agenda, but do you mind if we do the Pledge of Allegiance?
That was my bad, I forgot. Let's do that.
Okay, so I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we'll continue on, I guess, I don't know if Robert's rules on the informal side, do we got to bring this off the table? I'm assuming we do. Do we got a motion to bring this off the table?
I'm not sure. Can you say it again?
The COA for the School of Rock,
Do we have a motion?
to bring it off the table.
Oh, no, sir. Just for the mere fact that it's on our agenda listed under old business, we'll be able to act upon it.
That's good. So we'll move on to that. I guess to give us a better briefing than what we have in the notes with all the information, if we could have our town planner and the applicant give any type of feedback they want to give.
I'll be happy to. Just from a procedural standpoint, this has been, of course, before the ARB. Some of the signs on the property or for the request have been approved. The signs in question are the signs that are on the historic structure that the ARB was dealing with at the last meeting. They were modified from the first meeting.
Right.
And the applicant's here for the third time to talk about the signs on the structure itself. Generally, those signs meet all of the size and requirements outlined in the ordinance. So I'll just stop there. I don't think I need to really tell the board any more. I'll be happy to answer any questions. And of course, Mary Hitchcock is here to talk about which she's found out since the last meeting and any changes that she'd like to discuss with you.
Okay, but no options came up through your findings or any communication with the applicant?
No, we've talked about a couple different things, and I think she's wants to talk to you about her different options.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Thank you
Welcome
for having
back.
me back. Thank you. Yes, I did wait to hear from somebody, and we did reach out to Steve, and basically there was nothing else anybody could come up with other than a 9-square-foot wall sign, which is just doesn't fit the size of the structure. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the meeting. I don't want to re-say everything that I said last time, so I consolidated it a little bit, if that's okay if I restate some of what I did last time.
Sure.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So after the meeting, the first meeting, I went with the board's suggestion and asked Metro Sign to do a rendering with the Georgia font as well as the Tahoma font, which is also an approved font. I received the new photographs with the new lettering and was so disappointed because it truly distracted from the character of the home. I also showed them to the VP of franchising for School Rock, who said that they were too far off from anything that resembles the corporate logo. The next thing I did is I reached out to a designer, the president of MZS Creations. She's an artist, a designer, and it's specialized in staging and marketing high-value homes. After my research, discussion with you and with her, I agreed that the bright red just is too much. So what I presented last month was changing the red in the guitar and matching it to the approved color, which is a deep, rich burgundy color on the front door. And I have color swabs because what printed doesn't really look the same color, but it is the same color as the door. It also took off the flare of the H, the F, and the K. So this sign fits well with all the historic colors, and yet it still does retain some of the corporate brand. So the Haymarket guidelines for the signs are all signs should be in strict conformance with the Haymarket Town Code and other applicable requirements. This sign that I'm presenting is in very strict conformance with every single one of those. It also says that signs should make a positive contribution to the general appearance of the street and neighborhood which they are located, as well as complement the architect of the building. So that's where there's some discussion. So since last month's vote was 2-2 on the sign, not everybody was in agreement that it is complementing the architecture of the building. I am sure, however, that it is unanimous that a vinyl banner, which I'd have to hang in place, definitely does not fit in with the architectural structure, yet I don't need approval to hang those. This past Saturday, and moving on to the more better news, this past Saturday at the Haymarket Health and Fitness event, we had the house open for everyone to come and see what we've done. I take great pride in the fact that I have preserved and maintained all of the details this beautiful house has to offer, and I was thrilled to show it off. I had chatted with hundreds of people in Haymarket, and the overwhelming opinion is how excited they are that we're here and using the Winterham home. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to take this home and turn it into a place where children are safe and can be musically inspired. This was a home that had been ignored on the inside. The outside looked nice. Holes in the floors, rodents throughout the house, and I've turned it into something beautiful and usable. I want to let you know how important the sign is to me. This week, my entire family is in Asheville, North Carolina, celebrating my father's 80th birthday till Saturday. Since this meeting was moved a week earlier, I discussed it with my family, and they all agreed I had to be here to meet with you tonight and leave my father's celebration early. I'm extraordinarily blessed to have a family who supports and understands that the sign issue couldn't be passed off for someone else to address and that I should be here in person. One other thing I wanted to mention is that Jessica, the property manager for the Winterham property, mentioned that they are posting a pad for lease sign on the property and that shortly they're going to be moving forward with the project again. When that happens, the freestanding sign that has been approved will have to be taken down because it is only permitted until they are ready to put a structure up. So when this construction is built, it'll make the sign on the school that much less visible. So a little pop of color and character would certainly help. Again, my goal is for everybody to be satisfied with the outcome of the sign while preserving the historic aspect of the property and satisfying the requirements of the franchise. And I really do believe the sign meets that. Were you able to get a copy of last week's?
Could I see a picture of it?
Yes.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I don't see last week's rendering.
Last month's rendering?
Last month or last week's?
Last month.
Last month or last week's?
Oh, I'm sorry, last month.
Last month?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't know if you had received it.
Thank you.
And the color, printer doesn't quite print it as deep as. If you would like to see the, what the sign looked like,
I remember, I think, with
no,
the
I
little
meant the one that
points.
you
Yeah.
guys suggested I try the other font.
Yeah, because what was in my packet
Oh,
was only
okay.
the flares.
I think
It
they
didn't take the one that,
have a copy, because I
This
only
is
have
fine,
the
though.
one we had in
This
the
is fine
package
for me. Thank you so much.
so yeah, I was wondering where this one went.
Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I think we're more up to speed on it than you are, so the question is, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I think that I'm fine with this. I really am.
Yeah, and I've given it a comment. I've given a lot more thought since the last meeting, and looked around at the other signs and some of the ones that we've already approved, and yeah, I've got absolutely no problems with the sign whatsoever. I shouldn't say it, but I'd have no problems even with putting the flares back on, but that might not go very well. But that's just my opinion. So I'm fine with your sign.
Miss, Miss, I just want to clarify. Are we looking? It said modified Tamaha. Are you speaking with the flares on the K and
No,
the,
no.
without?
Without,
Beautiful.
that one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then the red is to match the door.
SW006.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, I think we're done with questions. We could put it all for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed?
Chairman, I don't believe there was a motion on the floor.
I can
Okay. Let's go with the
Just
motion.
to clarify, just make sure that we have a motion.
I think you're right. I'm running ahead of time.
Is it still the same number?
Yep.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the sign for School of Rock, the revised sign ZP 2017-009.
I second.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. Now, one last chance for discussion.
I'll make sure everything in there is, all the wording's correct. All right.
Okay. Do a quick view, make sure we didn't miss anything.
I'll make sure the color's in there too.
Color's also on the diagram that I sent.
Perfect. Really red. Perfect. I'm good, Chair.
Okay. Then we'll put it up for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains?
Thank you.
You got a
guys.
sign.
Thank you.
Hopefully you can get down to the Carolinas for your dad's birthday.
Do you want? Are you sure? Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Next agenda item, we have a discussion for I guess, an application that is still in process. Is there any information that you want to give on this one, Steve?
The application came in just recently, and I know there's a little bit more history to this than just a fresh application. My purpose in bringing this to the ARB tonight is to let you know I have a wonderful sign package from the sheets. It's really not for any action tonight, but I wanted you to know that the information is here. We're reviewing it, trying to figure out the fees, trying to figure out, make sure that it meets the town standards. And I'll be happy to answer any questions, but really I'm not in a position to answer. I just wanted to bring this before you for informational purposes only. You're welcome to look at the plan. And I've got multi-sheets and lots of information. So it's here for information at this point only. No actions needed by the ARB. If you have any comments, I'll be happy to take them, but it's really not necessary.
Are we allowed to come look
Yeah.
at it?
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to say, let's take a walk by. Since we didn't have any in the packet.
So here's the site itself.
This has already been approved by the ARB. The only thing that's come into the office is an application for a sign permit, which has already been approved by the ARB. The ARB has, this has gone to the ARB twice, and we've gotten certificate of approval. She's had, December of 14, it came in, and the architecture and the sign, comprehensive sign package was approved. And then we came back to you in August of 2015, because we inadvertently left out the internal street, the lamps. So then you approved those the fixtures for the site. So we have two existing certificates of approval, and they are now, she's just now coming in and filing her have applied for their sign permits, which have already, the signage itself has been approved. They're just looking to get the permit now.
Is the rule about having it done within a certain time frame, does that apply to signs too?
Once the permit's issued.
Once the permit's issued.
Oh, okay.
They're definitely in time frame on that.
So
So wait, so this is,
here's Washington Street.
okay. So this is just the cover of the business, and this is what
canopy
they've
of the
built
building.
right now?
That's correct.
Okay. Seems like there's a way, because it's good for people.
And there's, so it's a pretty thorough application, and, it has everything. So a lot of detail. At this point, I really don't have much to say about it. I just got it the other day, so.
Again, it's the application
For the permit, that's
yeah.
correct. It's not.
Signage, yeah, the signage has already been approved by you folks. I thought both of, I know you look familiar. Okay, the second time, yes, yes.
I was here for the last,
Okay.
and I'm sure you guys are doing that, around the posts for the lights.
Yeah.
Is that on there as well?
I think that was part of the motion, that's the sign, and they are,
There you go.
And also the.
the street lights.
The lights.
And that was part of the approval, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think we have anything that shows the lamps with that.
You know what I'm talking about, so.
Yes, I do. I do.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot to look at, but it's what they do. And I just wanted to let you know that it's here. And, we'll review it. Go from there. And I've gotten more information tonight, which will be helpful about the approvals today. So, great.
Thank you.
Well, that was quick. Okay. Any more comments? Any questions for Steve or
No, sir.
anybody? Okay. Then we'll move on to town planner update.
I'll try to be as brief as possible. We haven't received any new new applications for the ARB. I've continued to work with one of the applicants with their Mr. Pittman with contemporary music, with the size of their sign and any configuration that they're planning on doing at that point. As far as other projects in town, we have a site plan coming before the Planning Commission for a Dog's Day Out. We discussed that today with the applicant. That'll go to the Planning Commission in July. There are a couple items that will need to come to the ARB, minor items on the site that deal with signage and lighting, the light standards, and a retaining wall that will be, they're trying to come before the ARB in July. And then recently, another site plan was approved by the Planning Commission at the last meeting, was the QBE site plan. So as far as planning applications, site plans, those are the major ones that we've been working on. And I'll be happy to answer any questions about ARB permits or other minor building permits that we've been looking at.
The VDOT wall that's in front of the bank and Chick-fil-A, are you participating in that? I've had a few emails go by. I didn't see your name on it.
As a matter of fact, they stopped by for an unannounced meeting today, sort of to bring us up to speed on that. They have 7 weeks to complete the project. There are a number of options that they're looking at for staining the wall and all the issues associated with that. The color palette for staining, some of the concerns with power washing the wall and then staining in relationship to the brick sidewalk and the issues with that process and the effect it would have on the brick sidewalk there at that location. So one of the options that came out at the last minute at today's meeting was the possibility of adding ivy at the top so that it would come down over the wall as a green option along that area. So what we decided on is that they're going to power wash and stain one section, and then we're going to call the ARB. They're not sure that the date, but it will be sometime in July, probably early July. So we'll alert each of you and let you know when that one test section has been done so we can take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we've come to? Is the only option is staining it? No stone, no brick?
Well, the stone facing, they said, was going to be too expensive. We said, well, how about if you do some type of staining, but you break it up by putting in some type of brick pillars? And I don't know if that's still an option. Are they Brick or stone.
Or stone
Yeah.
columns to break it up. And the stain, they're trying to match it so there's a contrast, a contrasting background with the stain. It was good news to me today to hear that they could put ivy in because,
Yeah,
it's just it's something green, it's something growing. It might make that little corridor look a little bit better rather than just
Yeah.
a retaining wall we're trying to hide with stain and some stone. So, I think that's a good fallback position, especially if accommodate some reason because of the issues with the stain and getting the stone to stick on that stain. So it was a last-minute discussion today, and we'll call each of you whenever we have that little test section done to see how that works out.
Yeah.
They've been very accommodating. The biggest problem has been the cost of, in the concern over the time frame, the cost of adding stone to that entire length of the wall. So we've modified it to add the columns and the staining, and that brought the cost down probably by about half. And now the other issue is getting it done within the time frame and making sure that the sort of the stone veneer columns will adhere to the area that's been power washed, and then we'll sort of stain on either side of those columns.
Okay.
Any thoughts about the adding ivy? Anybody have any thoughts about that?
I like it. As a matter of fact, I think it was Sherwood Forest, when they came in to put in a wooden fence, it was just going to be this long fence with nothing on it. And we pretty much approved it, even though we were a little hesitant on it, strictly because of the foliage that we knew was going to be growing over it.
Okay.
And so I think this would be a good option to blend it in. But, you still have some that will not be covered by the ivy, and so it would still be good to have some type of staining and breaking it apart if the ivy doesn't work.
Definitely like the idea of the columns.
Yeah.
That'll elevate it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to accommodate that. I think sometime after the 4th of July, they'll have that initial work done, and we'll just call you. You can go out and take a look at it.
Yeah, I definitely think the combination of the three sounds like a good solution. I think just even any of the two, I think would still leave a little bit, it could, but the combination of the three, vinyl staining and columns, I agree. I think that's should cover it. So I agree.
There was some question about the stain and whether, at this point, there's a swirl effect that you can do with the stain. I'm not going to use the word marbled because it's not, but it gives it a little bit of texture from a distance. It looks like there's texture from a distance, but they're uncertain whether that will work in a vertical format. They know it'll work as a horizontal, like a stain on a patio would work, or on sidewalks, but they're not sure if it'll look or work actually to add that textured swirl.
I don't know about it. I don't like the sound of that at all.
I don't understand why we can't move forward with how they did the bridge on Cat Harpin as well as Jefferson, North Carolina here. I mean, I think that was all concrete that they put. If I'm not mistaken, it was the stain.
And
And
they
then
used
It was stamped.
Painted.
Yeah, it was stamped and then painted. And
so
that's
they
the
used
problem,
that as,
is
they
that
used
was,
that as an example today of what they've done,
Yeah.
what the contractors have done.
I think that looks pretty good.
yeah,
And it would still match the
Yeah,
bridges.
the only issue is, the wall's not stamped, so can they fake it out by just putting in the brick look?
Tear it out, put it back in.
You know exactly what VDOT will say about that.
No,
I
but
mean,
see-
I was lucky to catch that it was a raw wall before they even really started to move forward with it.
Yeah, but
Hopped on it
the
quick.
town did make an exemption for them. Vice Mayor Passanello brought it up at our last town council meeting. I don't recall his exact words, but and it was before I was on the town council. But they had made some sort of an exemption to allow VDOT to do the diversion diamond in all of this project, which helped VDOT cut their costs down. And so, how much we assisted them in letting the costs go down, it's funny that they can't come up and help us a little bit in this regards to this wall. But
Yeah, my first suggestion was the wall like the bridge, but
Can't they just put like more concrete over it and stamp that?
couldn't tell you.
Some question about
adhering to it, yeah.
wall and manufacturer would guarantee that.
Okay.
So there's construction-related issues to deal with. One of those is having this power wash the wall late time. Columns go that you want to put stain down. Try to adhere that column to where the stain is, so it's pretty bad. Sounds simple until you see that. Power washing, they're sidewalk below with chemicals. Very end of their construction mode and option of ivy at the top was a
I look forward to seeing the example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we will in July.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Steve on anything else?
I do have a question. I've noticed, and it's funny that Ms. Hitchcock mentioned that the vinyl signs, she was saying that you can put up vinyl signs without getting approval, which I know, but isn't there a time frame that they have to take them down?
There is,
Yeah.
Isn't it 30 days? 45.
It's a 45 days. So the temporary banners, which she was referring to in those regards, and those are allowed up to a 45-day period. You're supposed to write on the back of the sign when that temporary sign was placed up, and then it can be re-extended for an additional 45 days with, I believe it's the zoning administrator's approval. Now, at any given time, she could make one, take that down, put up another one, take that down, put up a different one.
I think that should turn off.
Is that an ice maker? That's the air conditioner.
It just went out.
Great.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what she was going to do is, kind of fall into the loophole if necessary of putting up temporary signs, and she would just continue to do the temporary signs, which
So people are allowed to do that?
It is something now that
is a loophole. Hopefully we'll close it, right?
it's a loophole that I took as a threat. So it's going to be something that's brought up to the planning commission
Okay,
at our
great.
next regular scheduled meeting to review.
So, signs. Up and construct. Standpoint, just.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All I have.
Okay. Thank you for your time. You don't have any questions for us, do you? Okay. And I guess we'll move on to town council update.
Excellent, sir. If you don't mind, I'll just do town council and PC together.
Okay.
Mr. Steve had already touched on the items on the PC in regards to the two site plans. In regards to the town council, we denied the demolition permit for Z properties of the old firehouse and the bungalow. That was then tabled from our regularly scheduled May meeting to for the town council to our June meeting. That has now been pushed to a continuation meeting this Friday, the 16th, to hear the applicant's appeal. We accepted an amendment to our fiscal 16-17 year budget. We also put into place and adopted a hazard mitigation plan. We adopted our fiscal 17-18 year operating budget. We approved the zoning ordinance that was submitted by the Planning Commission for approval. And the most important one is we brought Ms. Danielle Kievsky on as our town clerk, and we are delighted to have her. She's been such an asset to our team and our staff, and has really been gelling extremely well with the current staff, and she's been helping us out on administrative roles here recently, and Ms. Murray had offered her the position through the remaining term for the town clerk. Miss Alice Terrell, she had gone back to the private sector, and we are just ecstatic to have Miss Danielle, and she's doing an absolutely phenomenal job.
Welcome aboard.
Any questions?
How'd the health fair go?
Unfortunately, I was not able to attend the health fair,
Neither was I.
so I could not tell you. I believe that it was a good success. I was speaking with some of the officers, and they said that there was a lot of foot traffic coming through, but I have not had the opportunity to speak with Miss Andrews, Miss Denise, to know.
Okay, well, that just moves through everything really quick. Next agenda item is adjournment.
Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion?
I second the motion.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good.